But again, we're talking about someone who's met with his personal wealth manager 7 times since becoming chairman, but 73,000 XRP holders can't even get a low-level staffer to meet with us or talk to us. What's that tell you? Where's his priorities at? I hope one day I get to sit next to him in front of Congress and testify. That'll be fun.
So we believe that it is those that raise the money through an initial sale of digital assets and those that continue to provide essential managerial efforts should be held responsible.
Okay, so I'll talk a bit about the funding model. So we will have a fundraiser for 2 months starting February 1st. It will be available at funds.ethereum.org.
Section 301 of our bill provides for robust technology-neutral disclosure obligations that would hold responsible those who benefited from that fundraising.
So the idea is that part of the initial issuance will be 1,000 Ether for 1 Bitcoin, or up to 2,000 Ether for 1 Bitcoin if you get in early to compensate for the increased risk. So the issuance model is that we will fundraise. Suppose that we hand out X Ether through the fundraiser.
But the entrepreneurs, the sponsor, the promoter, the entrepreneurs, that's where the disclosure obligation ought to be.
Then there will be about 0.5x will be pre-mined, and then 0.4x after that will be mined per year forever. So it's this hybrid of the Mastercoin and Ripple model and the pure Bitcoin mining model.
But at the same time, yes, we're holding people like Miss Kardashian accountable, and that does send a message through the markets. We had earlier kept others accountable in the same way. I mean, Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled and Steve Seagal and so forth.
But those are anomalies, and maybe it's important, but it's certainly not important as holding UBS accountable and Goldman and all the larger players.
We're doing both or all of the above, but within limited resources and within a judicial system that's, people have rights and they're gonna challenge us. So,
but doesn't that suggest you're going after people who can't challenge you as much?
In terms of the big firms in this past year, we had fines for Barclays and other big banks in terms of
and the only reason I mention that is because the SEC obviously celebrates disclosure. It celebrates transparency. Like, why can't we do the work as the SEC and as a federal government to actually define and provide clear rules of the road? And if we had those, I think everyone would actually, the industry in the U.S. could thrive, much more easily than what we're dealing with now.
What's up, guys? Today, XRP was almost breaking the internet with this outstanding news. Apparently, XRP has just been branded the term World Bridge Currency by Google. Yep, guys, you don't believe me? Well, take a minute and type in the term World Bridge Currency and see what happens. I've said this time and time again that XRP is going to be at the center of all financial transactions in the coming future. Only my fellow XRP army believes me, and now it's actually happening right in front of our eyes. Quick question. What if XRP was given the status world reserve currency? That means no country will be more sovereign than the other, and the next phase of Web3 and decentralized currency would be so easy to actualize. You can call it a pipe dream, but imagine if that was to happen. Anyway, let's roll that intro and get into today's video. As always, welcome to Moneyside, your favorite crypto channel. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get updates when we drop new videos. And don't forget to smash that like button, and you can always leave a comment or question in the section below.
You've concluded when you'll get some sort of resolution?
So I do think it'll be fully briefed in front of the judge by mid-November. Federal judges work at their own pace. I think it's very hard to predict. Maybe optimistically, you're talking about a few 3 to 4 months. Pessimistically, you're talking longer than that. I generally have tried to guide when people ask internally at Ripple, I kind of say, look, I think we'll have an answer the first half of next year.
Well, you've heard it straight from the horse's mouth. By November, we should have a rough idea of how this court case is going and when to expect a settlement. Yes, this case will end in a settlement or a win for XRP. You know why I believe that? Well, there's no way Ripple can continue with its day-to-day activities if they didn't expect to win this case. For instance, they've just started the next wave in the NFT world. And that's according to Watcher.guru, who tweeted, "Just in, Ripple signs second wave of creators, bringing entertainment and media NFT projects to the XRP ledger." Ripple just announced their second lineup of Creator Fund recipients. And this is great news for the XRP blockchain and the coin itself. A new financial system is on the way, whether we like it or not. As of right now, the dollar has been struggling in the market, the pound as well, and other currencies. These countries look to cryptos to provide a long-lasting solution that could potentially change the entire financial system. And of course, that can't be Bitcoin. Just as Linda tweeted, the BRICS nations are leaving the central banking system, and that will be the start of CBDCs. After that, these nations will have convinced the whole world to move to cryptos. Clearly, the old system of challenging the whole central banking system didn't work. And now, through XRP, we will be able to force central banks to embrace cryptos, then finally take over. Don't you see what's happening? If you're not, you are blind. And XRP will be at the center of all this. It's now the world's bridge currency, soon to be the platform that helps to launch the first CBDC. And if you're invested right, you'll be a millionaire in the next few years, guys.
The third way we think CBDC can improve financial inclusion is through what we call programmability. That is, CBDC can allow government agencies and private sector players to program, to create smart contracts, to allow targeted policy functions. For example, welfare payment. For example, consumption coupon. For example, food stamp. By programming CBDC, those money can be precisely targeted for what kind of people can own and what kind of use this money can be utilized. For example, for food. So this potential programmability can help government agencies to precisely target their support to those people who need support. So that way can also improve financial inclusion. Of course, I want to end with a caveat, because CBDC is not a panacea. CBDC cannot solve every challenge in financial inclusion. There are some aspects of financial inclusion is not related to technology. For example, financial literacy, digital literacy. So CBDC has to work with other policies together to try to improve financial inclusion. I stop here.
But we are also taking innovation to the next level. And let's take CBDCs and digital money. We heard it as well from Commissioner McGuinness. There are over 100 countries now exploring CBDCs, but in that front, international cooperation is essential. So, well, very pleased. I mean, you may have seen it already, that last week we announced the results of groundbreaking experiments in that field, that show essentially that CBDC DLT networks can be interlinked, and not just with each other all over the world, but also with existing payment systems. And what this means is that as CBDCs will be rolled out, they can automatically, immediately scale and be used globally. And all of that, we're achieving it through SWIFT's new transaction manager that is acting as a bridge. And exciting to see as well that an increasing number of major central banks and commercial banks are joining this sandbox. And we have similar experiments as well going on the security space with leading edge innovation on tokenization. As digital assets mature, they can also be seamlessly exchanged across borders. And of course, with November almost upon us, rich data through ISO 20022 is also a big part of the industry's innovation agenda. We're fully ready at SWIFT to support the start of the coexistence for cross-border payments. And what is really exciting is to see that over time there is a huge potential for improving the frictionless future for cross-border payments and further innovation leveraging that rich data. So you can see. Let
me tell you, the subpoenas are going to fly over to Gary Gensler, so he needs to be ready for that. And hopefully that will keep some of the excesses that we've seen at the SEC in check.
Yeah, interesting point you bring up, because I interviewed Congressman Tom Emmer multiple times, and he gave a kind of a famous line, I believe a month or two ago, where he said a new day is coming, and he was talking to the SEC enforcement director, and kind of alluding to potentially Republicans, winning the midterms, and then he said having the gavel, they will have the gavel in their hands to then keep regulators like Gary Gensler in check.
Yeah, and there's a few things they can do. One is oversight, subpoenas of emails and such. Unfortunately, what we've heard is that there are staff at the SEC that are using apps like Signal and WhatsApp, like we do, to try to keep our communications private. They're doing the same thing to keep them private from congressional oversight. Now, if they're doing that from a just government ethics and oversight perspective, it's illegal. So hopefully, in that context, and I feel a lot more comfortable with you and me using Signal and WhatsApp to maintain our privacy than I do someone in a government position who should be accountable to the public. But we might see that issue come up in oversight. Another thing that they can do on the Hill is to insert appropriations riders, and we've already seen Mr. McHenry float an appropriations rider to limit the SEC from adopting the new rule that attacks DeFi. It would require all DeFi, all DEXs to register essentially with the SEC in a way that violates freedom of speech, as Coin Center's letter has made the case. So we might see we'll probably see a lot of that next year.
As always, do your own research and always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can always let us know what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, and please click on that subscribe button below. And turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next Money Side.